If you have used ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, you have experienced the pinnacle of language prediction. These systems are master linguists. They can write code, draft essays, and compose poetry. But if you strip away the polished prose, you find a startling truth. They do not understand the physical world we live in. To a large language model, the physical universe is just a sequence of text tokens. It knows the word gravity is statistically likely to appear near the word downward. But it has never felt gravity. It cannot anticipate the bounce of a ball, the friction of a surface, or the weight of an object in a room. This cognitive blindness is the single greatest bottleneck in modern artificial intelligence. It is the reason why autonomous driving has taken so long, why domestic robots still struggle with simple tasks like doing the dishes, and why AI agents often fail when left to complete complex tasks in the real world. But a quite profound architectural shift is happening in the research labs of OpenAI, Google DeepMind, and physical AI startups. We are moving past the era of the large language model and entering the era of the world model. Today, we are going to look past the corporate hype and explain exactly what a world model is, how it works, and why it represents the true bridge between digital intelligence and physical reality. To understand why we need world models, we first have to understand the limits of what we currently have. Generative AI models are passive predictors. When you type a prompt into an image generator like Midjourney, it uses a process called diffusion to turn noise into a clean image. It has no concept of 3D space, lighting, or structural integrity. It is simply arranging pixels based on statistical patterns it learned from millions of training images. This is why AI generated videos often feature objects that morph, disappear, or defy gravity. The AI does not understand that an object cannot simply phase through a wall. It only knows what the next frame is statistically likely to look like. World model, however, is fundamentally different. It is an internal, simulated representation of the physical environment, its mechanics, and its rules. Instead of just predicting the next word, a world model predicts the next state of the world based on an action. Think of it like human intuition. When you walk into a crowded room, you don't need to calculate the exact mass, velocity, and trajectory of every person to avoid bumping into them. Your brain runs a continuous, low resolution simulation of your surroundings. You implicitly understand that if you step left, you will clear the doorway. If you drop your phone, it will fall downward. If you push a heavy door, it will swing open. This is what cognitive scientists call our mental world model. It allows us to plan actions, predict outcomes, and imagine scenarios before they happen. In computer science, a world model attempts to build this exact same capability within an artificial neural network. It consists of three core components. First, a sensory encoder that takes the raw sensory inputs like video feeds or depth sensor data and compresses them into a compact representation. Second, a dynamic model that predicts how this representation will change over time, specifically in response to potential actions. If the AI agent takes a step forward, how does the room change? If it turns left, what comes into view? And third, a memory system that tracks historical states, allowing the model to remember that an object still exists even when it is temporarily hidden behind a wall, a concept known as object permanence. Now let us understand why does this matter. Currently, training an autonomous robot or a self-driving car relies heavily on reinforcement learning. The system is placed in a simulation or a real environment and learns by trial and error over millions of iterations. It has to crash a virtual car 10,000 times to learn that hitting a barrier is bad. This process is computationally expensive, slow, and dangerous in the physical world. With a world model, the AI can train inside its own mind because it has a built in simulation of physics. The AI agent can imagine thousands of different trajectories, run mental simulations of various actions, and calculate their outcomes in milliseconds without ever moving a single physical muscle or wheel. It can run what if scenarios. What happens if I accelerate on this wet road? What happens if this pedestrian steps off the curb? Only when it has determined the safest, most efficient action in its internal world model does it execute that action in the real world. This is the technology underpinning the most advanced systems of our time. It is how modern autonomous driving systems navigate chaotic city streets, not by memorizing maps, but by predicting the physical intentions of every vehicle and pedestrian around them. It's how new humanoid robots are learning to handle delicate glassware, fold clothes, and operate machinery. They aren't just following programmed instructions, they are navigating physical space with an internalized understanding of force, friction, and weight. But the implications of world models go far beyond robotics. If you can build AI systems that truly understand the rules of physical reality, we can use them to simulate complex physical systems at a scale never before possible. We can build world models of molecular biology, allowing AI to simulate how proteins fold, bind, and interact inside a living cell, accelerating drug discovery from years to days. We can build world models of atmospheric systems, allowing us to predict localized climate events with accuracy. We can even build world models of industrial manufacturing plants, optimizing global supply chains and energy consumption inside a perfect digital twin before making a real world adjustment. We are transitioning from an era where AI merely mimics our language to an era where AI comprehends our reality. For decades, computers have been isolated inside flat, digital screens dealing exclusively with abstract data. World models are the technology that pulls them out of the screen, give artificial intelligence a sense of space, an understanding of time, and an intuition for physical consequence. The machines of tomorrow will not just read about our world, they will understand it. What do you think? Are you comfortable with AI systems that possesses physical intuition, or does the idea of machines that can simulate and predict our movements make you uneasy? Let's talk about it in the comments below.